With the advent of Chavismo in Venezuela, the People's Republic of China played an unprecedented role in the country. But how did these nations become so close? Since his rise to power, Hugo Chavez tried to diversify Venezuela's oil client base. At the same time, China sought to secure more energy sources and implement its expansion policy, especially in Latin America. Thus, the interests of both countries were a perfect match. In 2001, the bilateral relationship got a boost with the creation of the High-Level Joint Commission for the signing of hundreds of agreements for the flow of funds from China to Venezuela through loans, foreign direct investment, and donations. As part of its Going Global policy, the Chinese government sent over $350 billion to 140 countries between 2000 and 2014. In Latin America, Venezuela was China's favorite, receiving more than $68 billion, mostly through the Venezuela-China Joint Fund and the Large Volume Long-Term Fund. These investments called for the compliance with 4 rules that were not favorable to national interests. However, the Chavez administration, with a ruling party majority in parliament, had uncontested power to approve debts and contracts. The Maduro administration continued the policy. The first condition was political. In 2000, Venezuela recognized only one China, and in 2007 suspended the visas of Taiwanese trade representatives in Caracas. The second was an embedded condition. China demanded that its labor, companies, technology, and products be used in the projects at an advantage over Venezuelan counterparts. Third, there was an emerging conditionality. Venezuela pledged to pay back most of the loans with oil. In addition, the country was bound by technology and capital inflows from China. Finally, the agreements demanded confidentiality, which is prohibited by law. Apart from the dates or names of the projects that have been disclosed in official statements, little is known about them. Exchange rules and institutional weakness in Venezuela limited proper checks and balances over China's funds. In the long run, funds had a pernicious effect on democratic institutions and on the nation's economic performance, promoting corruption. Although debt figures are not officially published, leaked data from Bandes revealed that in December 2019, Venezuela owed China $16.73 billion for the 2 large funds alone. By 2020, debt service to China accounts for 57% of the national budget. These commitments preclude necessary spending in key sectors. Direct investment did not lead to great progress for Venezuela. Since 2007, joint ventures were formed, mostly for the exploitation of hydrocarbons, with the primary purpose of ensuring supply of crude to China, to no avail. One notable case is the Sinovenza joint venture, formed in 2008 under great opacity. It has received more than $7 billion, has failed to meet production targets, and faces serious allegations of corruption. In addition, at least 15 projects aimed at improving water and power supply, transport, and hydrocarbon production were left unfinished, and all the money was lost. The balance of these relations is negative for Venezuelan society, but not for the top officials of the Chavista government, who handed billions of dollars at their discretion, eliminated checks and balances, expanded the size of the state, increased repression, and boasted unconditional support from the Chinese government and international bodies. China also made significant political strides, positions its companies, accessed Venezuelan oil as a priority buyer, and it ensured the purchase of its products. But it also suffered setbacks, had to make payment terms more flexible, postpone due dates, and take a reduction in oil shipments. How to reverse these consequences? With the design and approval of a developmental model for Venezuela, validated by society with a long-term perspective, which includes the role to be played by foreign investment and the conditions to be demanded for any international debt, with separation of powers, reforms in the legal framework based on principles of open government, and, above all, with transparency.